All right, hey guys, Jason here. We are back and we are heading back out hunting. It's been an incredible season so far. I think we're on day 4 and I have been covered up in deer and hogs basically on every single hunt. Put a hog down, have a deer down. Like I said, it's been going fantastic. Last night I passed, I had 3 deer come into Water Oak. 2 of them stayed too far away, but one of them that kept underneath me the whole time was a spike. I can't shoot another spike because I just killed that 3-point, so I have to have 4 points on one side or more, but I could have shot that spike a dozen times under me. It's like I said, it's going really good. I got 0 complaints. But today what we're going to talk about while we're on this drive is we're going to talk about my new plans for bows. Not new, it's been going on for a little bit here, but when that bow broke, when that Northern Mist bow broke by my own doing, as I said in that video, okay, I have fallen on that bow so many times it just gave up the ghost. It was just done. And it, you know, especially with how it cracked there, there's no other possible way than pure lateral stress on that thing from me falling on it so much, and finally it cracked. But at that time, like I said, I ordered 2 new bows from Steve, which I'm hoping to get in January. I don't push him or Boyers or anything to make them any quicker for me. I have bows, but hopefully in January when I go out to Alabama to hunt with Steve out there, and then doing that Alabama, that, you know, where I'm doing that hunt out there with Norm and Steve, and God, I cannot remember the guy from Tennessee. I cannot remember your name. I have it written down. We got to set some dates here pretty soon for you too. I'm pretty flexible to make sure things work for you. And your name's going to come to me the second I get off of here. I know I'm so sorry for that. But I'm looking forward to doing that hunt. Well, I'm hoping that Steve is going to bring those bows to me out there in January, so I don't have to have them shipped. Since I'm going to see him, he'll just bring those. So that's what I'm expecting to hopefully happen with those 2. But I have other plans in the works already also. Once, like I said, that bow broke, I decided, you know what? Not only am I going to get 2 new bows from Steve rather than 1 to replace it, I was getting 2. I also want to get some bows from some other Boyers and spread some of that support around a little bit and try some things and try, you know, get some other ASLs in, and I've been, you know, planning on doing that. And then so I did. I got one. I have 1 bow on order actually from Bivouac, from Jim and George over there. They're making me a Union Jack, and I'm pretty excited about that. Donnie, I will get one of Donnie's bows from Creekwalker Trading. That's a given, but him I'm putting kind of on the back burner a little bit, and the reason I say that is he gets a ton of publicity. He's had Robert shooting his bows. I'm pretty sure he's building another one for Robert now. He's got James Loper shooting his bows, and got a couple of his bows, and Donnie's getting a lot of promotion, which is a very good thing because he's a hell of a good guy and he builds a hell of a good bow and he makes a hell of a good quiver. Love him to death. And but like I said, we're gonna kind of put that one on till probably next year, but I will have one of his. I'm looking at some other ones too. There's so many great Boyers out there that I'm looking into, and I honestly haven't looked in many years. I've been shooting Northern Mist bow for the last 10, 11 years, and not really been in a mood to, you know, look at anything else. But I want to support some of these other guys, and I want to see what they have. There's so many great ASL Boyers out there now, or Boyers out there, and a lot of them are making ASLs, and they're killing it, and they're doing great. And you know, some of them been around for a long time. I wanted a Howard Hill bow built by Eakin so bad, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and now I can't get one. Same with a Schultz bow. God, I wanted a Schultz bow ever since I got into this sport, and put it off, never did, never chased one down, never nothing, and now I don't get that luxury. And it's, you know, some of that stuff starts to, you know, it's like, no, I'm not letting this happen no more. There are Boyers out there that I want to buy their bows, and I want to have their bows, and I have mad respect for what they do. And like I said, Jim and Georgia, what they do over there is phenomenal, and I'm excited for that Union Jack. The kicker for me is you know, some of them, there's some out there too that I want to try also. Like, I hear great things about St. Patrick Lake. I don't think he makes a 64. I think he's 66 only. And now maybe he could make a 64 for me. I haven't tried or checked with him. Maybe down the road, like I said. But he builds a beautiful bow that I'd be interested in. But I'm sticking with 64s. I only draw 20. I used to draw 26 inches. Now I'm more like, realistically, everything included, creeping sometimes, whatever cases, I'm more like 25 and a half. 25 to 25 and a half, maybe 26 on a real good day. So I'm not shooting 66-inch bows. 64 is what I want. Even though it's an ASL and I know a 66 would be a little smoother, and I get that, but I've always kind of preferred shorter. You know, my hybrid longbows that I got from Steve, like my Baragas and stuff, they were 60-inch longbows. 64 is where I want to stay. Plus, I'm already vested in 64 with all my other ASLs being 64 too. I'm not changing and carrying extra strings or getting used to it. I know right where those limb tips are at all times. So whoever I buy other bows from, they got to be able to make a 64. If they're not making a 64, I'm not buying it. But like I said, it's time to spread that around a little bit. I'm thinking, all said and done, over the next probably two to 3 years, I'm going to try and acquire about another 5 bows besides these 2 from Steve, which right now I have I have 2 ASL bows, 2 Northern Miss Classic ASL bows. I had 3. That one, like I said, gave up the ghost, is gone. And I have 2 more on order, so that's 4. And then I got the Bivouac, that's 5. And then, yeah, like another 4 or 5 more bows coming that I'm going to get from other ASL bowyers, or maybe even double up a couple. But I want to spread that around. I want that out there. I am getting all of these bows all very similar. Okay, I'm not changing things up a lot. I'm basically shooting for, you know, my 2 Northern Miss I have right now, my classics are 57 at 26, 64 inch. 64 inch is set in stone. I'm not changing it. But they're 57 pounds at 26. The Bivouac's going to be 50. I told him 55 at 26. Make it any, you know. And so if it comes in at 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, I'm all right with that. I'm 100% okay with that. Anywhere in that general ballpark range. Again, especially with me giving up about a half inch of draw on there, you know, from my 26. If it's like now, if I'm shooting 57, I'm probably shooting 55 is where I'm at here. I'm all right with that, 100% in those numbers. Now, some of the bows I get at the end of this, whatever that is, like say a year or 2 from now, those last 3 or 4 bows I get, I might make them somewhere more in like the 49 pound range, 49, 50 pound range. But even if I do that, by keeping these ones pretty close to that too, even if I want to still shoot these ones, say 15 years from now, I can easily have the weight reduced on them for $150 each, and it's not, you know, it's within spec of being able to get that weight close enough. And then this way, all my bows shoot the same exact arrows. Okay, within reason. I might have to maybe change an adapter or something on there, or you know, change a broadhead for something if I needed to. Like if my razor broadheads, that's the only downside to the razors, they are a 250 grain broadhead, and that's what I have there. Now I can order 200s, and that's always an option, but I can't change things up anymore where with like a Boyer head that are glue on, I can change adapters in there, and I can change the broadheads based on what bow I'm shooting by just changing the adapters and change the weight of it. So lots of things in the works and playing with, but we're gonna see some new bows on the channel. Okay, and like I said, it'll be starting with that Bivouac bow coming from Jim in Georgia. That'll be the first new one other than a Northern Mist in a while, in almost a decade. But there's a lot of people building a lot of great bows, and I want to get my hands on them, and I want to shoot them, and I want to own them, and I want to be proud to have them, and I want to help support them and let the world know about them and that kind of thing. Steve told me one time, he said, you know, a couple years ago, before he stopped taking orders and all that kind of things, but he told me, he said, you know, all the money I put in advertising and everything I do, it doesn't even come up to 10% of the amount of bows that I sell because of, you know, the podcasts and the videos and stuff like that I've done. So this stuff really helps these people out a lot. And it makes me feel good that I can. Now, with that said, let me put something else in here, okay? Just because somebody's going to say this in the stupid comments. No, I have never, ever in my life ever got a bow for free or got a discount on a bow or took a discount on a bow, and I never will. Not only do I pay 100% full price for the bows, I tip every bowyer every time I do a couple $100. If a bow is $750, I pay him $1,000. If it's $800, I pay him $1,000. If it's $850, I pay him $1,000. Okay, but I'm always tipping every bowyer I buy a bow from. So don't think for a second that when I say that me making videos showing their bows helps them. Did I say that because I'm expecting anything for free? I wouldn't take anything from any bowyer for free, ever. They work too hard and they put too much time, blood, sweat, tears, and energy into their bows that I would not even accept it if they offered it. The only time in anything like that I've ever had, that I ever did, was Donnie, his first quiver. His second quiver I paid full price for 100%. I didn't even give him the option to not let me. But on his first quiver that he gave me, man, he fought me tooth and nail about trying to get it, give me one and give me one. I said no and no, and finally we agreed on kind of like a half price deal kind of thing. But and I had to fight to get him to even accept that. But and then on the second one, like I said, I didn't even give him a chance. I'm like, no, full price. Always. I do believe that these people work very hard, and I will not take any of this stuff for free, and I will not let them do it for free. So you guys in the comments that are going to jump in here, well, of course he's going to shoot all these different bows and get 5 new bows. They give them to him for free. No, they don't. Not even remotely, not even a little bit. But these people out there, these bowyers that are still keeping the ASL, the hill style alive, keeping it going, making these bows for people. I mean, and they're not as high demand as many other bows out there. They're not the cool in thing, the new it stuff. But they're amazing bows, and these guys that are doing it, like I said, I want to spread the love and share what I can and be able to promote these guys. So that's our new bow plan. We got some stuff coming, and there'll be people who say, I can't believe you gave up on Northern Mist. I'm not giving up on Northern Mist at all. Steve builds an incredible bow, and like I said, I already have 2. I got 2 more on the way. Plus, yeah, I mean, I've had 8 Northern Mist bows. Okay, I did sell a couple of the Baragas, but I mean, like I said, his bows are incredible, and they will always be in my stable 100%, and I will always be shooting them, and it's not that. But there is a whole world of other amazing bowyers out there that deserve to have that recognition shouted from the rooftops, and I have a platform to do that. And then there's also the fact that I'm greedy. I want these bows. I want to own these people's bows. They build amazing stuff, and I want them for myself, and I'm gonna get them. So that is the game plan there. So that's what we got going on bow-wise. Questions, comments, anything like that, put them down below. But basically, we are sticking with spec-wise. I'm looking for, I'm going to, like I said, it's going to be 64 inches. 64 inches long is how I'm planning it, because that's where I want my sweet spot to be in. Right around that 50-pound range, somewhere between 50 and 55 pounds. They're a perfect setup for me, my draw length. That's all I need. And for those of you spec gurus or people that wonder that stuff, the only stipulations that I personally put on any bow, I don't pick woods. I don't pick the stuff that the bow's made out of. My only requests are, I'm a real big fan of bamboo cores. I really like them. I don't know why, I just do. But I like the bamboo cores. I like tip wedges, not tip overlays. There's nothing wrong with tip overlays, but I prefer a tip wedge. They're sandwiched in between, and I like them better than glued on furniture on the outside. I'm just a fan of the tip wedge tremendously. So I want tip wedges, and the only thing too is I'm saying, as I'm ordering these things, is no, I do not want any white glass, no white or light gray, no big, bold, bright colored glass like that. Where I'm hunting at in the swamps is black and dark green all the time, so I don't want that super, super bright light glass on there. And I'm not really a fan of red bows anymore. I got one, but the reddish tinted bows, whether it's cocobolo or juniper, I'm not a fan of red bows. But other than that, I want straight grips. Got to be straight grips. The only way I'm going to shoot a bow anymore for the rest of my life is basically a straight grip bow, straight grip hill style bow, and that's it. Other than that, like I said, these guys can pick the woods. They pick, it's like I told Jim over there too, and the same thing I told Steve. Here's the spec. Then you do the rest. All I know for sure is I want a straight grip. I want tip wedges in it, and I want it to be 64 inches. I want it to be 53, 55 pounds in my draw length, and I want left-handed, and then leave a grip off of it. Don't even put a grip on it or a string, because I'm going to make my own strings, and I'm going to put my own rubber grip on it. So save that stuff for somebody else. And that's it. And then we order them up and make it happen. So I'll keep you posted as this stuff comes, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited for everything. It's been almost, what's it been? 8 years since I bought a new bow. And I am very excited to not only get a couple new bows, but to get, like I said, 5, 6, 7 new bows. It's just hit a time in my life where I want them, and I'm super excited to get them. So questions, comments, put them down there. Thanks for watching.